Hey everybody, welcome back. So glad to have you here today on this Cabral HouseCall. I can't wait to get into today's questions. I really mean that. I'm just opening up our communities-based Word document, which is essentially, a Mac Pages document of all of this year's questions. So it's pretty phenomenal. We probably get 1,000 questions submitted per year. And every single weekend, we're just tackling, let's say, a dozen or so of those questions. So that is always the name of the game. We go through them one by one. There's no editing. My team literally just adds them there. And I say, no editing, exactly what people write. And I'm going to do my best to answer them to the best of my ability. With 25 years or so experience, well over 250,000 client appointments, and not saying I have all the answers, but willing to do my best to help you find the underlying root cause without the medical advice, medical cures, medical diagnosis, or medical-based treatment plans. All right, so having said all that, giving you my disclaimer, let's dive into the show. If you want to follow along with the questions, head on over to stevencabral.com/2871. You will find the questions from today, as well as, of course, all sorts of great show notes, links, and if you haven't already picked up a copy of The Rain Barrel Effect, let's make this the year to do so. All right, let's get started right now. This one is from Ed. Let's see what Ed is asking. Just want to make sure this is where we left off. It is. It says, "Hi, Dr. Ball. For those of us males over 40 years of age," I'm in that category as well, Ed, "who have prostate enlargement, apart from saw palmetto, what do you recommend, or do you know of any Chinese medicine or herbs that can help treat this condition better than saw palmetto or Western medicine? Is it possible to shrink the prostate back to normal size with these herbs in combination with a healthy diet and whole-based foods? Thank you for your guidance, Ed." And then Ed wrote, "Is it true that red maca reduces prostate size as it did in rats in one study?" Okay, so the thing is, and I always share this with you, go to stevencabral.com/podcasts, type in prostate. You'll see all my previous shows on prostate, and you will have already had this question answered because you wrote in, Ed, exactly. Let's see how many weeks ago. Yeah, we're up a little bit. Again, I answered them in the question, in the delay that they come in. It's been about 12 weeks. So again, I just don't want you to have to wait that long. That's all. So this has been answered, but I'm still going to answer your question, Ed. And for everybody else, if you go to stevencabral.com/shop, and you type in, it would send you over to Equalife. This is exactly what we use, but I'm going to give you more than just a supplement, but you asked about herbs, and I want to give you the herbs. So let's just type in prostate in the search box. You're going to find something called Advanced Prostate Support. And inside of Advanced Prostate Support, these are all clinically studied and verified ingredients. Zinc, selenium, copper. Those are needed for a healthy prostate. That's what you get. Now, saw palmetto, just like you named, great DHT blocker. Nettles root extract. You may not have heard of stinging nettles before. Really great for the prostate as well. And pygeum bark. Those are my 3 favorite herbs with 3 minerals that your prostate needs. Now, is it the only thing? No, of course, because when you look at my de-stress protocol, it's diet, exercise, stress reduction, toxin removal, rest, emotional balance, science-backed supplementation, and success mindset. So I gave you one part. You need the anti-inflammatory nutrition, functional medicine detox, things like infrared sauna can help. And then also, you may have heavy metals. Cadmium has been known to affect men's prostate as well as other metals too. So you want to make sure that you do a heavy metal detox after the functional medicine detox if you want. Infrared sauna, all those things can be helpful. So, Ed, hopefully that answered your question. And yes, it can shrink back to normal size, 100%. I mean, I've had so many men in my practice that we've been able to successfully help with that. Now, again, I can't give you medical advice, but certainly, yes, without a doubt. All right, because again, everything is figure outable. Everything has an underlying root cause. So your prostate didn't become enlarged just because you got older. That's not the way that it works. You're more susceptible, yes, but that's because your rain barrel gets full and overflows, and it affects the weakest links in people's body, and inflammation can go to men's prostate very easily, very, very simply. Okay. Greg is up next. "Hi, Dr. Ball. Thank you for all you do. I listen to your podcast daily, and I've learned so much." Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you tuning in daily. We appreciate you. "What are your thoughts on electrical muscle stimulation, where they use electrodes to contract muscles at a rapid rate to get the effects of a longer workout in minutes? I would love to hear your insight on if you think this is beneficial, and will you recommend it? Thank you, Greg." Okay, so it is beneficial. I've read the literature, read the research on it, and it's there. Do I use it? Would I recommend it? The answer is no. I recommend it in rehabilitation. I recommend it if you're like already, if you get 3 hours a day and you've already enhanced like all your other outputs, great. But it just doesn't fit within my high performance health recommendations for anti-aging and longevity. You can find out more about that at highperformancehealth.org. And here's why. Because there's more to exercise than just stimulating the muscles. So there's something called closed chain-based exercises versus open chain. And I have a podcast on those too. But you actually want to work on the entire body as one. Looking at electrical muscle stimulation is almost akin to using like green medicine. Okay, I'm going to use niacin for depression. Well, you shouldn't do that. I mean, like you can use it as part of a protocol, but it's kind of like, I'm going to use SSRIs. It's like, well, okay, understood. Like in the short term, fine. But like, let's go deeper. Why? Why is this here? Don't just say it's genetic, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I want the cardiovascular benefit, the max VO2 benefit. I want the closed chain postural strengthening from that. I want the motor unit control over not just stimulating the pectorals or, let's just say the quadriceps. I want to get more involved in the stabilizing muscles. I want all of those things. Now, can EMS get you many of those things? 100%. No doubt about it. I still believe in needing to do the work. So I'm a big advocate of that. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. There's a time and place, no doubt about it. But if you're not already doing 3 strength training workouts a week, I wouldn't replace any of those. I really wouldn't. And if you're not on, anabolic steroids, I recommend for most people, 3 full body workouts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, a day off in between for recovery. Some people might even do less. But you find the right program for you. I can't give a blanket statement. And then of course, if you want to do electrical musculoskeletal stimulation, you could maybe even for a lagging body part or an injury, like that's a different story. And actually I've done that before when I have been injured. And so I think there's a time and place for everything that's healthy. All right, let's see. Ed is up next. Might be the same Ed as our first question, but let's check it out. Dear Dr. Ball, thanks for all the great information and help you're providing people out there. I've been struggling or dealing with dandruff since childhood, and I'm now in my 40s and still struggle with it. Both my mother and brother don't have dandruff, but my father and grandmother on my mother's side also struggled with it. Does that mean it's genetic? Though using Head & Shoulders shampoo helps, I hate using it because of the vast chemicals it has in it. I get buildup on my scalp if I don't use some kind of anti-dandruff shampoo. I have tried to limit my sugars and processed foods, but dandruff built up. Okay, totally get it. Are there any vitamins, minerals to help with it? All right, so here's what I want to share. Again, Ed, I appreciate you tuning into the show. All of these already been answered at stephencabral.com/podcast. Just type in dandruff in the search box and you would have already found the answers. And again, I'm going to answer it. I love answering the question, so it's not an issue, but you had to wait 12 weeks to get the answer. So dandruff can literally be topical. So you're over drying your scalp, which is then causing dry skin to flake off, such as dandruff. Or it's not over drying the scalp from too much product, too much, like if you have alcohol in the gel that you're using in your hair, or shampoo that's too stripping for the oils in your scalp. You might actually need to add back some healthy oils like rosemary oil, or if it was you who asked the first one, maybe it's pumpkin seed oil, or there's geranium oil, or there's bergamot oil, or there's castor oil. All of those are great for your hair. Maybe even coconut oil, because the next thing could be there's a fungal-based issue topically on the scalp. So if there's a fungal-based issue, it can cause flaking, and coconut oil or maybe even sesame oil would be helpful for that. So, and then first apple cider vinegar, toning it, and then you could use the oil. Okay, but it could also be internal. And yes, it could be blood sugar imbalance. It could be gut-based issues like candida, yeast-based overgrowth. That's absolutely possible. It could be certain medications. So you want to be careful. Certain medications can cause this drying out process as well. It could be low thyroid. That's another issue. Yeah, there are more, but those are the first place to look at. So, Ed, it sounds like if this is you from the first question, it sounds like there might be multiple underlying issues, food sensitivities, et cetera. I would love you to run the Big Five if possible. The Big Five is going to give you clear, distinct answers as to exactly what you need for your de-stress protocol plan. All right. All right, next question. It's Ed again. Ed's back. All right, let's see what Ed says. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I came across your great and helpful information from Mind Pump Podcast. Thank you. Does dim power help reduce prostate size like saw palmetto? My elderly mother has osteoporosis. Is it true that maca root helps with this condition as well? Okay, so we talked a little bit about prostate. Dim can help, but that's different, right? Diindolmethyl. Why am I blanking on that? But yes, that's what dim is. So we have a product called Estrogen Balance. Estrogen Balance contains dim and I3C. Indole 3-carbinol. Those two help with blocking estrogen. And in men, testosterone can convert at higher levels to estrogen, which may affect the prostate. So yes, advanced prostate support combined with estrogen balance may be helpful. I know you've mentioned maca a few times now. I like maca mainly for boosting libido and hormones such as estrogen, maybe a little bit progesterone, maybe a little bit of testosterone. Not so much on my top 5 list for osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is not just about calcium and magnesium. It's also looking into vitamin D levels. Yes, calcium, magnesium. What else? Selenium, strontium. Like there's a bunch of vitamin K2, right? But all of those can be taken care of with the daily foundational protocol. And we've got a great bone support product and CalMag Complete. And then you're good. I don't know that anybody's lacking maca root that it would cause osteoporosis. Then you want to look into walking on an incline for an elderly parent. If they can, of course, they can even hold on. That's okay. But that helps with bone density. Walking on flat surfaces, not so much. Okay. And then strength training a couple times a week for elderly as well. Really important. All right, let's get in one more question. This one's from Lara. Lara says, hi, Dr. C. I have a question about vegan omega-3 oil. It contains 609 milligrams of EPA and 1,158 milligrams of DHA and 157 milligrams of DPA. Is that a good ratio for a vegan omega-3? We were checking the ratio of Equalife's non-vegan and there's more EPA than DHA, but they also add sunflower oil. How come? Thank you for your amazing work. Hoping you and your family are well. I'm hoping you're well as well, especially this holiday season. If you're tuning in at this point, I thank you. I appreciate you. So here's the thing. We look for a 2 to 2.5 ratio of higher EPA to DHA, but it's almost impossible to find in vegan-based forms, which is why they just don't work as well. I have been trying to create my own vegan omega-3 for about 18 months. I can make it happen, but the manufacturer has to use what I'm going to refer to as toxic solvents in order to be able to extract from these omega-6 oils like sunflower oil, the EPA and DHA, and I will never compromise my ethics. And so I'm not going to give you an oxidized omega-3. It defeats the purpose. So that's the issue. Now, there's some decent brands out there. It's not that there isn't, but you can get DHA much easier from vegan-based omega-3 sources. It's the EPA that's the challenge, and that's what you're finding right now. They have a 2-to-1 ratio of DHA to EPA when it should be flipped. It should be a 2-to-1 of EPA to DHA. And please check out all of my case studies, all of my lab results. I don't want the gold star for this, but I don't think that anybody's ever run more omega-3 labs and inflammation labs than we have. And again, we don't need a gold star for that. It's just we have the research. And I used to give everybody higher DHA to EPA too about 13 years ago. Well, now, the years keep on coming. 15 plus years ago. But the truth is, when I saw the lab data come back, it made me say, keep an open mind. Oh, this isn't actually correct. It's not that you're harming people. It's you could be doing more help, more good. And that's giving more EPA to DHA. Once we started doing that, game changer, everybody's ratio started to get into the ratio they should be by taking 2 to 3 grams per day of omega-3s. Not a mega dose, just 2 to 3 grams per day. And for children, a half a gram, maybe a gram when they get to be a teenager. All right, that is it. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much for writing in today. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.